Okay, here we go. The Pen and Maggie Show.
He's about to get crazy and wild. Stay for a while. Don't touch your radio dial.
Pen and Maggie Show.
Kicking it back, sports talk. Listen to that and stay tuned for some giggles and laughs. Go.
12 things you need to understand. 1. When you're winning, keep your mouth shut. 2. Don't tell people your plans. Wait till the results speak for themselves. 3. Never expect to get what you give. Not everyone has a heart of flesh. 4. Every day you wake up, you have a new job to be better than yesterday. 5. You will never get what you want until you are grateful for what you have. 6. Sometimes what you're trying to hold on to is exactly what you should let go of. 7. If you want to buy things without looking at the price, work without looking at the clock. 8. God puts people in your life for a reason and removes them from your life for a better reason. 9. The devil wouldn't be attacking you so hard if there wasn't something valuable in you. Thieves don't break into empty houses. 10. You're going to set a lot of people off when you start doing what's best for you. 11. You will lose a lot of friends when you get really serious about your life goals. 12. Life does not get easier, you just get stronger. If you're not following, you're probably never going to see us again. But if you are, congrats. You're on a journey of continuous growth.
Welcome to the Planet Mikey Show.
Wait, you're not going to play the next 50 things you had to say, that guy?
Don't you feel better now?
No.
After having heard that?
I almost fell asleep with that
You
guy.
lost 100 people that were starting.
First of all, I knew all the shit he said. I already knew that. I knew all that stuff. You know, I used to go to church.
When you're winning.
Oh.
Shut up.
Okay, well, God, I mean, was that who sent you that?
That was
the Lord?
Oh no, who's the guy? The Anthony
Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
He sent it to you?
Yeah, he did.
He recorded it and then said, "Hey, Bill, check this out."
He did it right here. He bugged me.
Great for Mikey's show.
And then he had somebody's liver with some fava beans.
Clarice.
Bill Burt's here, and he's like, "What the hell is going on here? This is not a
show.
What kind of shit is
What
this?"
did I get myself into?
Yes.
We have Bill Smith, of course. He pushes the buttons, and you should have pushed that button a lot earlier.
What are you talking about?
Well, Ben Kitchen, he pushes the buttons too. And Bill Burt, who's the sports editor for the Lawrence Eagle Tribune. What's it called?
The Eagle Tribune.
No, I know. I put the Lawrence back in.
He does that a lot.
You know why I put that back in there? Because it makes it more personal when you have the guy's first name.
Well, the big show would say the Lowell Eagle Tribune to make me even more pissed off.
Right.
You know?
Well, I told the mayor of Lawrence one time. I had him on the radio back when I was on EEI, back when I had a real job. And I said, why don't you know what you want to make Lawrence a better place? Change the name from Lawrence to Larry. Larry, Massachusetts. Put a statue of Larry Bird in there and forget this Lawrence shit. Right?
And what did he say?
He said, no, I don't think we'll do that. He said, I don't think that's not on the agenda. Bill Burt, he's been a friend for years and years. And he used to be on the big show, it was in the 2000s?
So 99 I started and went to about 2010.
And with the Big O and the Big Show. Mm-hmm. This before Ben even joined the program.
Yeah, I got there in 2011.
Bill, what was your fondest memory of the Big Show?
Well, first of all, I was there when Belichick wrote it on the napkin, HC of the NYJ. I was there for that moment with Fred. I was on with Fred. And for a while, I was doing a lot of football. But you know what? I can't really say I can't remember one time. I did with Felger. I think Felger was embarrassed. And I was on when he said that, if I'm
sorry,
I don't know if it was that time, but he was whining about something. And he had his shaved legs and sandals. And I go, will you keep quiet?
He would have made a really good girl if he'd come out.
Well, he was good. He's good at radio. Let's be honest. He's good at what he does.
Yeah,
he's really good.
He got to start though.
Yes,
Glenn Orby.
Well, I was on. I go back even further than the Big Show. I was on your New England Cable News. I went on that a couple times.
You mean Sports World?
Well, that wasn't really sports. That was comedy.
Oh,
hour, right?
That was sports only if we had to. If we had to. We have some sponsors I got to mention right up front because otherwise they get pissed and they could cancel. We don't want that. The good pros at Pro Automotive.
If you've got trouble with your car, truck, or SUV, Pro Automotive is who to see.
Pro Automotive. They have 3 locations. 2 of them are in Webster. One of them's in Dudley. And they're the best. They're the best in the business when it comes to repairing. And I got that Police Interceptor out there, which I love. And they cranked that thing up, made it like a brand new car. I love that car.
I always get out of the way when I see you
when you
coming
leave
by.
tonight, I'll chase you out of here to show you how fast it is.
I hate that, man.
Yeah. Also,
the way you know it's not a cop is when you see him flick a joint out the window.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't flick them out the window. I put them in. I save them in the Roach Hotel. We also have my grandma's coffee cake, the world's greatest coffee cake. There's no question about that. And,
Hold on, as a guest,
he
Bill's
gets
going
one.
to get one.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
We ship it right to your house. Now, don't give your address on the air here, but write it down for me and tell me which flavor you want. They have pineapple coconut. They got Granny Smith apple. They got blueberry. They
Done.
got chocolate.
Pineapple coconut. I'm done.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I got to write that down.
That's a good
PC, pineapple coconut for BB, Bill Burt. So Bill Burt is still with the Eagle Tribune, and he's been there for 40 years?
40.
Oh!
So I tell a quick story. I was my first day. When I was part-time. So I met Russ Conway at the Loft restaurant, which the Loft and Joe Fish in North Andover.
I love them both.
Russ Conway used to come in, and I thought Russ Conway initially was like a Bruins like management kind of guy when he first came in, because he came in with ex-Bruins current Bruins, Cheevers, literally Al Secord, who lived down the street. A lot of guys lived in the North Andover Boxwood area. So that's initially how I met Russ. Then 3 years in, I graduated college. I had a job at the Mass Department of Revenue. I was an economics major at Merrimack College. That's why I lived in North Andover. I grew up in Quincy, was up in Merrimack, and I was working at the Loft, and hadn't had a full-time job. I was working full-time at the Loft restaurant, and he said, "Hey, you always ripping the newspaper. You're ripping Joe Murphy. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? I need someone to cover a game tomorrow." And I said, "What?" "Yeah, North Andover, Pentucket, in Pentucket."
That was your first gig?
So first gig, I cover the game. Took me 10 hours to write a football game story, which now takes honestly 30 minutes.
10 minutes.
30. Okay, it's 10 hours. Didn't know what I was doing. I was an economics major who loved sports. So fast forward, I'm covering the.
Can you start those 13 reasons?
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
So fast forward, I'm at the 2007 ALCS. Red Sox against the Cleveland Indians.
Yep.
Great series. Beckett beats C.J. Sabathia. It was incredible series. They came back. They were down 3-1. They won.
What happened in the first inning?
Of which game?
No, I'm just kidding.
14. What is 14? So I'll never forget. I'm looking up, and Jacoby Ellsbury was a rookie that year. Right. He was him and Coco Crisp was switching off, and I looked up and I saw September 11th, 1983. And that was his birthday. That's when he was born. And it's just stuck with me. So I covered the series. They win. They stoke champagne. I get home, and on my desk, I have the first story I ever wrote. I saved it. It was so bad, I wanted a picture. So it was on my desk at home. And that's where the date of Jacoby Ellsbury, September 11th, was my first story. So the first story I wrote was when Jacoby Ellsbury was born. That's the story.
That's how old you are.
Yes.
There you go.
He was born on the first day I wrote a story.
Now, how old were you?
Yeah, and terrorists also bombed us on September 11th.
Well,
Coincidence, Bill?
That was whatever, 18 years later.
Now, how old were you when he first strained his hamstring and became a bench warmer?
So we're going to talk about this because I know you asked me, but my son played for the Yankees.
Well, wait, I want to get into that.
But Jacoby was on this long-term contract with the Yankees, and he was just showing up every day, wasn't doing anything, but he had to show up to get paid. My son's locker was next to Jacoby. I go, tell Jacoby. He goes, I'm not telling him about
Tell
that
him about
story.
The September 11th.
Yeah, I told him
the thing.
I
Go
told
ahead.
him your dad started in the newspaper
and
business.
then give him 12 reasons Zen is good for you.
And he, I covered him over the years, and I think I did tell him once. And
your son is named Max Burt, and
Right.
it's funny that he has the same last name as you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. And we'll have a quiz on everything Burt later on. Yeah. But first, he's a Yankee farmhand, but Double-A ball was the last level at which he played. But you're telling me he could be a free agent soon.
Well, he is a free agent about a week after the World Series. He could go back. He's got relationships very close with Volpe. very close with Judge. I mean, he's played with these guys in spring training games.
Right.
He's worked out with
He
them.
knows them. They know him.
And Rizzo's very, and then the younger guys who he came up with. So he's been in AAA. He's hit a homer in AAA. It's tough with the Yankees. It's tough.
You know what?
He's an infielder.
How did you get? You're not that big. He's like 6'1".
No, he's 6'2".
6'2".
220.
Strong
So my
dude.
wife's
What happened?
My wife's family, their side,
Vikings?
Her uncles are all 6'4", 6'5" guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, because when he was growing up, he was young. He was small like I was. So I'm thinking I'm going to have a 5'9" shortstop, good athlete. He grew a foot in high school. 5 foot. He was 5 foot when he walked on campus. He was 6 feet when he left St. John's Prep.
Well, I hope his career continues on an upward.
I believe in him, and it's tough business. We're 6 years.
Now, how tall is your wife?
She's 5'6".
Okay, now I've seen her with you on the movie reviews you do on the internet.
We do.
You do them on the internet.
We got one coming up.
And
this week.
I thought it was great when I renamed that feature Siskel and Bill Burt.
That's right.
And you didn't even run with it.
No, we didn't run with it.
You should have run with that. Siskel, she could be Siskel.
Yes.
Miskel, Siskel, and you could be Bill Burt because that is you.
Well, you don't see during those. She pinches me. You're talking too much. I should be talking more.
That's right. She's a pincher, huh?
She's a pincher.
Well, next time you start that feature, make sure you call it Siskel and Bill Burt because people will say, now that's clever.
Yes.
That's clever. Let's talk about some sports because that's what he does. He's the sports editor. He's an executive sports editor.
I want to talk economics.
That's his
He runs
area
the whole
of
thing.
expertise.
No,
right
you
there.
talk economics. You start with the economics crap. We'll go right back to the Zen shit. I promise you.
What do you think about bond
Adam
yields
Smith.
slipping, huh?
Oh, the supply of demand. So you picked out the flavor of the cake, right? Oh, pineapple. Yeah, pineapple coconut, right? The Yankees and Dodgers are going to be in the World Series, and I'm pissed about that. And here's why: payrolls. We already know who pays the most. It's the Yankees and the Dodgers. Okay, I wrote some things down here. Yankees payroll $260 million. Red Sox have a 198, but half of it's injured. The Red Sox, that's a whole different story. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers and the Yankees, the centers of population, the big market stuff, the free agency, the largesse of their payroll. It was almost inevitable that those two would meet in the World Series.
No, but it never happens, though.
You Shohei.
You say that, but it never happens.
Well, the superstars are everywhere on these teams, and,
Right.
and it makes me want to puke. And not just because I hate the Yankees, but because the big market thing. No, you had the Indians and the Tigers. They got really dinky payrolls. They got almost there. But in the end, I think it was fixed.
How about the Cleveland Guardians owner being worth $3 more billion than Hal Steinbrenner is? So
how about the fact that they
spend
were
some money?
Stupid enough to change their name to the Guardians.
Well, they had to do that.
That's
That was
awful.
a gun to their head. So,
But that's so-
but back on the series, this is a great series for baseball. So baseball's on the incline again after going through some rough times.
Yes.
COVID, I think, killed it. The Red Sox were putrid during COVID.
Awful.
But what we're seeing
And
is
since
where the pitch clock has changed everything. Now they started the pitch clock in the minors, and I said this is going to help. It's the games move,
right.
and what they're going to have to do. The best thing will be like they do in tennis. Strike, you can challenge. I don't know how many challenges you should have, but the most exciting moment.
This saves all that. You get the ball. The ball has a what do you
Sensor.
call it? Sensor. It goes through the strike zone, and there's sensors on the side of the strike. It's a strike. Oh, no arguing with the umpire. Up. It's like when you check out at the grocery store.
Well,
and you're
eventually that is probably going to happen. In football, it's going to happen
happen.
for first downs instead of an referee guessing. But I'm just going to say I am pro this World Series. It's Judge versus Ohtani.
Right.
They are the two biggest stars of the game.
I get it, but you know why they're the two biggest stars in the game? Because they get paid in the big city markets by the big.
Well, the Red Sox are a big C market.
Why
Why are you being a bitch about this?
Because the Red Sox are, first of all, down the shitter, so don't even mention them.
I'm not mentioning them. Listen,
Don't
I'm
anybody mention a Red
not
Sox.
a Yankees or Dodgers fan by any stretch of the imagination, but this is great. They've needed this World Series.
Okay, so it's it's going to
You
be
like baseball, right?
It's going to be a grandiose celebration of what makes baseball great, which is money. That's what it is. $40 million a year.
Money makes everything great.
What's $40 million a year?
Judge. He makes $40 million a year.
Well, so doesn't Jaylen Brown.
Jalen Brown's going to be making $55 million soon.
Well, yeah, but
And
we're
then
not even
60.
talking about.
Well,
basketball.
you will. Well, I mean, you're $50 million. I mean, you got
40
Ohtani's making 70 when they, after he
Worse than
retires.
him is $36 million a year for Garrett Cole, who doesn't even pitch half a year, and he doesn't pitch half a
No,
game.
he's legit good pitcher.
He's a good pitcher, but
no,
he's
no,
overpaid.
he's
and
a Cy
all
Young
pitchers
Award
are-
winner.
All pitchers are overpaid.
Yeah, he's a Cy Young Award
They're
winner.
bad
He's-
investments, and
he's-
I fucking hate him.
I don't know where.
And I was a pitcher. And by the way, my five, you know this, you guys know this, my most beloved Red Sox baseball people, one of them just passed away, Louis Tion. They're all pitchers. Jim Lombard, Dick Raditz, Bill Lee. These are all friends of mine who I love, and they're pitchers. But when a guy goes out there on the mound, he goes 7 innings. If you're lucky, Garrett Cole, and he's injured for half the year, and he makes over $1.5 million per start.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you. So I've now, because my son's in the minor leagues, I've seen a lot of minor league baseball. They bred these guys.
Excuse me.
They bred these guys to be weak. And they,
sorry.
that was not a sound effects, by the way. That was real.
That was a fart. He farted over there.
So these guys are bred in the minor leagues. They pull them after 80 pitches starters.
I know.
90 pitches. So my point
I
is,
call that
it's
pussy
not
ball.
it's not Garrett Cole. It's what analytics is saying. You're going to see this is amazing. Dodgers are going to have 2. If it goes 7, and I believe it's going 7, they're going to have 2 bullpen games. Right. Meaning the bullpen's going to pitch 1 inning, 2 innings.
Because
1
the
inning,
complete game is dead.
Brazier. Think of how about Brazier pitching for the Dodgers, big
Bill,
innings.
the complete game is dead, which
It
means
is
the
dead.
no-hitter is dead, which means that the 20-game winners
Dead.
is a dead category. The guys that are going to go in the Hall of Fame in the future are going to have 150 wins. It's ridiculous.
Right.
I'm sick of it. I'm an old school guy with that shit.
So you're not going to watch this World
Finish the
Series?
game.
Emphasis on old.
Do you know how many complete games Fergie Jenkins had in 71?
71?
30.
Mm-hmm.
30 complete games. You know what led the league this year in complete games? 3.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what.
It's not happening.
Then
So it's over, though. So appreciate the game is moving a little quicker. I'm not saying it's perfect. I do like the old school. I don't like the excessive celebration over non-big home runs and whatever.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. These guys, it happens in basketball, it happens in football, it happens in baseball. When you do something right on a sports sense, and then you pound your chest, look at me, I'm Mr. T, pounding your chest for the cameras. Look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Gale Sayers scored 6 touchdowns in one game. He just dropped the ball in the end zone. He just went back to the hole.
Well, that's what they did back then.
Well, but now they scream like they're having some kind of primal situation going on. I scream like that only when I finally have that bowel movement I've been working on for 6 weeks. So I don't like the celebration of yourself.
Right.
If the team win, I can understand you game-winning home run. Yeah, jump up and down, Carlton Fisk, run around a bit. But when you do, okay, I made it. I tackled somebody. Oh, did you stop somebody? You said, oh, great. Well, we'll celebrate yourself for a minute so we all can watch you look like an asshole.
Yeah, listen. I'm against excessive, and I'm against taunting. The taunting thing is what gets me, because you can taunt all the time just over a simple strikeout, throwing or hitting a base hit. I'm penalties. I'm throwing at guys. That I'm all for that.
If you taunt too much, though, they make you move to taunting. Right? You see that?
Nope.
Can I turn a phrase?
Are you talking Peyton Manning?
So Judge makes $40 million, Cole makes $36 million, Giancarlo makes $32 million. I care.
No,
Why?
don't care.
I do.
It's over.
Why?
The money's coming in.
Because it changes the game. You don't like them as people anymore.
Now, they don't play complete games. Why? Because they're paid so much money?
Because they're pussies. The
Well,
manager
Judge pays a full
he goes
game.
6 innings. Oh, you're 99 pitches. No, we'll take him out. We'll bring in shitball and douchebag and finish up the game for you. You try to get Louis Tion out of a game where he's ahead 2-1. He goes, no, man. This is my ball. It's my game. You go sit down. He tell the manager Zimmer, no, you sit down. And as Bill Lee said, if I'm winning 2-1, it's the 8th inning. You got to pry the ball from my cold, dead hand to get me out of that game. They don't have that mentality anymore.
So I know this show is all over the map, so I'll go back.
So far.
So no, it's going to go this way the whole way. I can feel it. But when I was during COVID,
He was on my TV show. He knows it.
when I was during COVID, I was there when he was on a cart sitting there. So if you look at all the pictures, it's Louis Tion on a cart talking to somebody. Yeah. And I was talking to him for an interview, and he was, before a woman came over to the Red Sox. We want you to go home. COVID is now becoming and is killing old people or something. So he left and he didn't want to leave. But we were talking and he said, I'm tired. They asked for my advice. I come here. I talk to pitchers. You can do this.
I talk to a pitcher.
And I tell them that it's where you put the ball.
I tell them it's where you put the ball.
Not how hard you throw it. These guys don't understand. Pitching is about fooling the hitter. It's not about throwing it by the hitter.
That's because they don't know how to pitch. They know how to throw.
Right.
That's all they know how to do.
And he said it's a waste of time for me to. He basically said it's sort of a waste of time for me to be here because no one's listening to me.
So I want you guys to all see this. I go to Louis Tiant's wake the other day, and I was 2 hours early. So I said, you know what? I'm an Uber Lyft driver. I'll pick up a ride. So the thing goes off. I'm on my way to Louis' wake. The thing goes off, and this is who I pick up. Can you see that?
Now, who's that guy? Santa Claus?
Doesn't he look like Louis Tiant?
He kind of does, yeah.
Tell me he doesn't look like Louis Tiant.
A white Louis? No, a black Louis Tiant.
Yes. His name was Irvin, and I was taking him to pick up some alcohol somewhere, but it doesn't matter. I said, I'm going to Louis. I'm thinking about Louis, and all of a sudden, my first ride is this guy who, I'm like, oh my God, you look like Louis. It freaked me out, and God bless Louis, God rest his soul, one of my favorite all-time people. It was a sad moment for Maria and Isabel and Louis Jr. and Daniel Tiant, and I'm going to miss him a lot. But see, the difference between pitching and throwing, these guys all throw 100 miles an hour. Do you know that the Red Sox struck out 1,570 times this year? That's about 10 times per game. Mm-hmm. Now, we all know, and Bill, you know this for sure, when you strike out 10 times, what's going on with Buddy? He struck out. That's what it is. The neighborhood dogs are out there. 10 times a game on the average.
Right.
Some games they struck out 14, 16 times. That's pathetic, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like it. But what the issue is that the people running the organizations don't worry about strikeouts as much. They want the pitchers to get them, and the batters, they basically say it's okay to strike out. Remember,
Put the ball in
Joey
play.
Gallo is the worst. Gallo's can't do anything.
I know,
but
there's always a couple of those.
He's
guys.
a better hitter than Arias. They said basically on all the metrics that they measure.
Judge struck out 170 times this year. I mean, he's getting $40 million. My point is that
he had
the old
58 homers.
The old
144
standards
ribbies
in baseball are not the same, and that's what I don't like. I do like the pitch clock. I think speeding up the game is really, really good. But God, it's just a changed situation.
So what's happened is with what they found through analytics that relief pitchers, some of them aren't good enough to go 3 innings, but 1 inning they can do, and another. So a batter sees 3 different pitchers in a game, where the old days they'd see 1, 2 at most. Now they're seeing 3, maybe even 4 if they get up 4 times. And that's advantageous to pitching. If he's only seeing 1 guy.
I get it. But you know what, though, Bill? If you're going to make $36 million a year as a starter, and all you're going to give me is 6 innings and maybe get injured halfway through the season, then I don't think that's a good bargain.
That will repair itself, though, I think, to going, because what we're seeing is the Dodgers are in the World Series and they're going bullpen games. I was saying during the radio seat, if you're going bullpen game and you're the Red Sox or Yankees, you can't find a starter in AAA. That's telling me that
that's just it. It's changed.
There's some success. No, bullpen now is more. The Dodgers are more focused on bullpen. Yankees more focused on the starting pitching. But bullpens are where it's at, and it's moving more in that direction.
I know, but I don't like that.
I don't either. I don't either.
By the way, have you ever covered golf?
Yes.
Did you ever see Arnold Palmer's junk?
No.
Well, Donald Trump probably hasn't either, but he sure talks about it. Did you hear what he said about Arnold Palmer's schlong? I mean,
you would confuse which one was his 9-iron.
Well, it's like, does he have a stiff shaft? I said, well, what's going on with that? Where all of a sudden you can talk about a dead golfer's penis and have it be part of a political gathering. I love that. I think that's great. Arnie, now, of course, he should go further with it, though. Take it to the next level. Say, well, Jack Nicklaus, not only did he have a real high voice, but he was hung like a field mouse. I mean, where does it stop? Whose junk is he going to talk about next? This guy is unbelievable. Trump, then he works at McDonald's. He goes to McDonald's. I thought it was hysterical.
He looked pretty natural, to be honest. He didn't act like a dorky rich kid, which is what he was.
He actually tried, but the whole thing is that's a whole different, Kamala says she worked at McDonald's and didn't, and Donald Trump's a billionaire, and he has.
Well,
not
that's
worked.
why he did it, because she didn't, and now it's It's
I think that's funny. That's just me. I think some weird stuff is pretty funny.
But back on Louis, I talked to you about this on the phone because I wanted you gave me something that Bill Lee said. First of all, he was one of the nicest, most decent gentlemen this earth has ever put forth here, and especially in Boston. He was a gift for us. If you wanted to get a picture with him, whether whether he was eating dinner or outside a restaurant or on a golf cart, he took pictures. I'm telling you, I think he took more pictures with fans than any Boston athlete in the history of Boston.
Yeah, he's very accommodating in that respect.
And what got me was when he passed, it's like a small part of me died because we're in a win. What have you done for me lately? You suck if you don't win a championship. And I'm more into what I grew up with was I grew up with colorful guys, and you're 2 or 3 of your best friends. And I was Raditz. I never really saw Raditz pitch, but Bill Lee and who else were you talking? Oh, Bill Lee and who's
Jim Lomborg.
So Bill Lee. These guys were
Raditz.
Funny. Yeah, Raditz was. That's who I was talking about before. But these guys were personalities. I adored them. They lost. They didn't win the championship, and I still adored them. And to this day,
you can't blame them for not winning any championships.
But to this day, I think we were luckier. And look, we were, quote unquote, cursed. The Yankee, and you still have it, unfortunately. It's as complex that they're better than us. And I hate the Yankees.
I call it. They tried to give Boston an undeserved inferiority complex,
which we took,
and they took an undeserved superiority complex.
Right.
And they just milked it for all they would until 2004. We all know what happened at that point.
And that's changed.
But I got the Yankee tattoo on my ass, so I'm a wounded veteran. Of this war between the. But you know what? As a Connecticut native, trust me, I have complete respect for there's certain Yankees I loved. Don Mattingly. I love Mickey Mantle. Mariano Rivera. There's certain Yankees you have to love for the baseball.
But I went through the 70s, and you didn't mention Craig Nettles.
Oh,
and
because he's an asshole.
And Mickey Rivers.
He's an asshole.
Oh, I'm telling you, the hate I had for those two guys.
Me too.
So I would never give that up. Like, you don't hate anyone on this Yankees team. They're not a hateable team.
Let me think.
No, you could say Soto could turn into that if he signs a 10-year deal and the Red Sox get into 4 LCSs with him. Yeah. But I'm just talking, they don't have we grew up in personalities. I'll go to football. Minnie Mac Heron was my hero as 12 years old. I was a little guy, and I loved watching him run 5'5". I cared about all-purpose yards. No one did. I was the only kid because he led the league in all-purpose yards. And they were 3-11, and I loved the Patriots. I go to now, there's no one to love. You could argue the quarterback might be, but that's the difference today. We grew up.
That's a whole different can of worms.
No, but we grew up in a different era. Is my point.
Well, yeah, of course.
We love these athletes: Freddie Lynn, Jim Rice, Carl Yastrzemski. I mean, go back to Ted Williams. Never won a title.
Fred Lynn's been on this podcast. Dwight Evans has been on this podcast. Rico Petrocelli, Jim Lomborg. We've had a lot of great old Red Sox, but they don't make them like that anymore.
No, but those guys, that's what I'll say it again. They didn't win. They almost did, but they didn't win multiple. Today we call them losers. And my point is, no, our guys were our guys. And Louis Tiant, in my opinion, was the poster boy.
Well, he was a winner, no question about it. I mean, he came back off a fractured scapula.
But these guys had the ball team. The team was in their heart, and they basically emitted that as you were around them. They were team members,
right? And it was a lot more romantic, if you will, to root for a team that almost got there, never got there. The curse and all that stuff. I think the Red Sox fan base has diminished mentally
since the curse.
In their fervor for this team because they've won all these things now. And of course, we've been spoiled by the Patriots winning, the Celtics winning. Everybody's won, but. The Red Sox thing, the mystique.
It's the worst and best thing that ever happened to them was winning 4.
Right.
If they just win in 04, there's still a fervor around here for them. But 07, if you actually look at 07, I think 07, 08, the ratings were even better than they were in 04.
Their highest paid player is Trevor Story, and he didn't play. I mean, he was $22 million. He's the highest paid guy on the team.
You bringing up money?
Because that's a reason to hate somebody. If somebody makes $36 million a year for doing shit, I hate him. Because, I work my ass off to make nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying you're good for nothing?
Good for nothing.
So let's just for a second on the Patriots. They have clearly big, huge issues, and the quarterback is maybe that glimmer of hope.
That's it
for them. But other than that, you got guys. Their first round draft pick can't catch the ball.
He's second rounder.
Second round.
He drops the ball. Okay, their line can't stop shit. I mean, they honestly, their defense was awful again in that last game. They're 1-6.
I want to know who's running the organization. I really do.
What do you mean?
I'm who's running the
Jonathan
organization?
Kraft.
Okay, well, if it's Jonathan, and if he's overseeing the personnel decisions, which is what Jerry Jones does, if he is, that's the problem. Look, I'm going to say this: they did not prepare for this season. If you're going to draft a kid third overall, just like when the Patriots drafted Bledsoe first overall, you got to protect him.
Let him play too.
No, you got to protect him. And that's the first thing. They're not about winning this year. He keeps saying, but Robert Kraft has talked about, it kills me when we don't make the playoffs. Forget the playoffs. You're going to build towards something.
But you want to watch Jacoby Brissett play more than a half a game?
You should have been playing Drake May from the start. I'm sorry if you don't have a good enough line. You got to coach it up. That's part of this equation here.
Run the ball. Just run the ball and let this guy get a feel for what's going on.
The overall issue is they didn't prepare this team well. When Bill Parcells came in 1994,
93.
93. They were that's when the owner came in 94. They allowed the most sacks in the NFL, 65. The year after, his first year there, they were number 1 in the league, 25 sacks. And that's protected the quarterback. And they protected Bledsoe for 6, 7, 8 weeks. And they got hurt a little bit, but Then they did, and this is what I've written several times. It's not how they do this year; it's how they finish the season. They need to win 2 or 3 out of the last 4 or 5, and you show hope. I don't see them winning another game.
Not one more game?
Well, they probably will.
They'll stumble into one.
No. I will say this kid's got a little ability.
Turnovers.
Drake May he's got some, but way far away from saying he's going to be a very good quarterback. But you said glimmer of hope. There is a glimmer of hope.
If Drake May plays as well as we all hope he does, then someday they'll name a snack cake after him. The Drake's Cakes, and it'll be the coolest thing ever. But he has to do something first.
No, this is a completely dysfunctional organization.
Right.
Completely dysfunctional. Because if Bill Belichick was really running things since 2004 or whatever,
he'd have a
third
22-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah. Then no one else there knows anything about how to run the organization.
Right.
Well, for 20 years.
Well, listen, this happens when you superstars, coach, or player leaves. There's usually a setback. They didn't think there'd be a setback, and what happened was, look, Belichick had a bad 4 or 5 years. I'm going to be dead. I'm the biggest Bill Belichick guy, but last year was a debacle. The coaching at quarterback was a debacle. Choosing Mac Jones was a debacle. Defensively, I heard Belichick, who again I respect the hell out of, talk about how they were, very good against the run last year. That was an awful team to watch last year.
And think of how awful it is this year by comparison.
But they just have no.
Wasn't this guy Gerard Mayo a defensive guru? Wasn't he a defensive captain and a defensive coordinator? But what's wrong with the Patriots' defense? It blows.
Well, they've lost 4 players if you had Judon left, and that was right before the preseason started. You got. Barmore has the heart issue or the blood issue,
clot.
The clot, and then you have
they lost the greatest tight end in the history of the game, the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, the greatest coach in the history of the game.
Right.
Of course, they're going to go down.
Right.
But I didn't think they'd ever go down defensively to what I saw in the last.
No, to be fair, they did lose their best defensive lineman. They lost their best linebacker and one of their better secondary members in Peppers.
So he was.
That's tough.
I will argue he was sort of the heart and soul when I talk about the toughness of the defense, because they were tough. And let's go back to the Cincinnati game. That caught me off guard. And Kraft was bragging afterwards. I have raising expectations, and he sort of flipped his finger to the media, who was criticizing.
But that game
him.
was a fluke.
Well, no, they played a perfect game. They ran the ball again.
Cincinnati wasn't ready,
and Cincinnati was not ready. They didn't think they were going to get the Patriots' best of the best of the best they've played in probably 3 years. But that set some false expectations. But then again, Bentley got hurt, and you mentioned the middle linebacker. He was sort of the Gerard Mayo of the team. Not a great player, but the leader, a captain. But I'm going to go back to what I said. I want to know who's leading this organization? Who is the leader on the field? I don't know who that is. Who's the leader on the sidelines? Doesn't look like Mayo. I know he's the head coach.
Doesn't look like they
who's
have
a leader?
any.
Who's a leader
in any of those?
Who's
jobs.
a leader in the front office? Is Elliott Will because this what they put together, and they had some money to spend, which tells me about
their anger, their frustration with Belichick has clouded everything they're doing here. You know, they thought, it was all Belichick's fault. These players are actually pretty good. So let's sign a bunch of re-sign a bunch of players from a fucking 4-13 team. Like, that's a great idea. They were so good. Let's pay them millions and more dollars, because now I'm playing into you, Mike, when they were a 4-win team. Let's keep re-signing these guys over and over and over.
So what do you cut the payroll when they were 1-win?
No, you bring in new players.
No. My point is, they so badly wanted to prove that Belichick was the problem.
But who's going to want to play here now compared to the 20 years?
Ridley didn't want to come here. Ayuk got the biggest offer here. He didn't want to come here.
You're all depressing me too much.
You shouldn't have brought this shit up.
Let's smoke some marijuana.
So this goes back to they should be focused on finishing the season strong, not winning games, not just finishing, getting better, not like 5 offside. False starts. That's coaching, by the way. That's only coaching.
By the way, I'm seeing more penalties in all the games. The holding calls last night. I was watching the Monday Night Game. It's like these players don't understand the basic rules of the game.
Well, no, they get away with it a little bit, and you do it until you get caught.
All right, now I'm going to just change up the pace here because I'm getting depressed.
What do you have there, Mike?
I have a quiz.
You get more salaries or something?
Jesus. I have a quiz.
A quiz?
Yes.
Mike, quick question. What year did Nolan Ryan make that $1 million contract?
81.
81.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Do you know what that would be today in today's dollars?
$1 million.
About $4 million.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not like you can scale it up and be like, well, these guys are getting paid, the equivalent of $30 million a year.
But what's changed is the TV money is out of control.
Yeah, but I always use this. Sandy Koufax peaked at $125,000 in a year. Greatest left-handed pitcher I ever saw in the history of baseball game. Now, $125,000.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm older than you.
Yeah.
$125,000 a year.
Right.
Garrett Cole makes that per inning.
Right.
Per inning. And Koufax used to throw 300.
He still is talking salaries.
I know, but I mean,
I just know how to poke the bear.
Doesn't that piss you off, though?
No.
Okay, well, then you guys, all of you, grow up.
How dare you?
All right, now here's a Bill Burt quiz. Ready? This is a quiz concerning the name Burt. Hey, Burt. Bill should be able to answer these first because his name is Burt. If he fails, it goes to you guys for points.
Thanks very much, Mike.
Points?
Burt quiz. Ready?
Okay.
This is rapid fire. He played Robin the Boy Wonder.
Come on.
Burt.
Ward. Burt Ward.
Burt Ward.
My legend.
And your name is
I saw him
Burt.
I saw that every day. I mean, I've seen every year.
He played Bobby Bacala's father in The Sopranos.
No, I didn't. He did? You're telling me a new Burt.
New one. This is a new one.
It's Paulie.
No.
Yeah, it was. From Rocky.
Oh. Well, you jumping?
I'm helping him. I'm helping him. I saw the glassed over look on his face like, what?
This guy wrote an article on 9/11, 1983, and then he played Bobby Bacala's.
I predicted 9/11.
He played Bobby Bacala's father in The Sopranos. What's wrong with you?
Oh. And I was helping.
I'm a big fan of his, too.
Burt Young.
Burt Young, of course. I was going to say that.
He's 0 for 2.
Yeah.
These are for you. These are all
That's
for
my
you.
fault. That's my fault.
You got a team here to help you.
He was married to Angie Dickinson.
Burt Reynolds. No. Burt. Oh, sorry. Not Burt Reynolds. Bacharach?
Yes. Burt Bacharach. He got one.
Yeah.
The songwriter. He wrote all Dionne Warwick's hits.
Yes. Legendary.
And he supposedly had junk bigger than Arnold Palmer's.
By the way,
same thing with Burt Ward, apparently.
Burt Bacharach wrote Love Boat's theme, too. How about that? Did you know that?
Who did Burt Bacharach?
Yes.
I know that song. Ready? Love, exciting and new. Come on board. We're expecting you. And love.
Bad place to go. Salaries in 80s TV.
Well, you're 1 for 3, so I wouldn't talk.
All
right. This pitcher's nickname was Happy.
Oh, Burt.
Hooper. Burt Hooper?
Burt Hooper. Burt Hooten.
Hooten, sorry.
Hooten, that's what I was going to
Burt Hooten, right? I know.
Burt Happy?
I got that right.
You won for 4. You didn't get it right. I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
Sorry. As
Boo, give it to him.
Executive sports editor of the Eagle Tribune, you should have known
Well,
that.
I would have. I always.
Dodgers are in
look
the
up
World
stuff.
Series
Right.
again. All right. He once threw a bat at the pitcher.
Burt Campaneris.
Yes.
That's a different Burt. B-E-R-T.
It doesn't matter. It's Burt.
Okay.
We don't do spelling here. We just do the sound. All right, you got 2 for 5. He was looking for courage in The Wizard of Oz.
Burt Lahr.
Yeah. I wouldn't have got it.
Oh, I mean,
Burt Lahr also
I'm
did the
gonna
Lay's
rate- if
potato chips commercials. Bet you can't eat one. Remember that? Remember
No.
those
Was
commercials?
it Ray Burt Bulger, the scarecrow?
No.
No. All right.
Ray Bulger. Yeah. No. Burt Lahr.
Yes.
You,
Burt
man,
Lahr.
for a quiz that's about Burt, you really kind of suck at this.
You're right.
Mike.
You're so mean to our guests.
No, I love Bill Burt,
Yeah,
but he's failing this right now.
I was a
He's
big Bulger guy. Bulger
got
guy.
2 out of
too.
6.
So disrespectful to our guests.
He knows it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see, Bill. He played Moonlight Graham in Field of Dreams. Shut the.
Burt Convey.
No. I know Burt Convey. That was.
Just what you wait? You're skipping
This
ahead.
guy's way more famous than Burt Convey.
Burt Lancaster.
Jesus.
Oh,
Of course it was
that's
Burt.
right.
What's wrong with you?
That's right.
Now I'm on your side,
You guys
Mike. What
are-
is wrong with
Burt
you?
You know, I like
Lancaster.
you all very much, but as Burt shit goes, you suck.
Oh, man.
Burt
All
or
right.
Burt?
He was famous for singing "Here She Comes, Miss
Burt
America."
Convey. That's my guy. Burt Convey.
No,
Who? Burt?
Burt Parks.
Burt Parks.
Oh, shit.
Dude,
Sorry.
you got 2 right out of 7.
How many
Here we go.
more?
You got 3, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. He banged Sally Field
Hi,
and
Burt
Lonnie
Reynolds.
Anderson.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt
Reynolds.
Oh, finally, you get
I was
a
a
duck.
big Burt Reynolds guy. I interviewed him
You
once.
get a duck.
I interviewed him once.
Was his hair real?
Coach from Florida State was from Lawrence, Massachusetts. So I ended up called him when he died, the coach. Burt, an hour, talked to him. One of the greatest guys.
Well, where was your story on 9/11 about that? All right, he was a. This pisses me off. I worked hard on this test, and you guys don't know shit.
You guys, what are you talking about?
Any of you.
Don't say hard on.
Hold on. Ready? He was a Phillies minor leaguer, an actor, a game show host, and maybe the least talented singer in the history of The Tonight Show. He appeared in 77 Sunset Strip, The Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Mary Tyler Moore, Hawaii Five-0. He was on Bewitched. He was on The Partridge Family, Mission Impossible, Charlie's Angels, and Murder, She Wrote. His name was
Burt.
Very good.
Thank you.
Burt Convey.
Yeah, that's Burt Convey.
Now you don't
That's
have...
Burt Convey. Yeah, I knew that.
Hey, the guy
I knew
sucked.
that.
He's dead, by the way. He died a long time
He's
ago.
dead.
Dead.
I liked him, by the way.
Well, you liked him?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the one. All right. So that was
B-E-R-T, by the way.
I know B-E-R-T, but
Yeah.
it's like Bert and Ernie on
Yeah.
on Sesame Street. Exactly.
Yes.
If it sounds like Bert, it fits
It's
into
Burt.
this quiz.
It's Burt.
You think I could find 10 questions with people who are B-U-R-T, just like your last name?
You did your homework, yeah.
Anyway, so fail.
Oh, screw you.
These guys did
I
a little
would have
better than
gotten.
I did. These guys did better.
Pass.
Burt Bacharach, I mean, not Burt Bacharach. Burt Lancaster, I should have got. I did know that.
You know who
I mean, I
else?
knew them all. I just didn't know their names.
You'd be a big hit at a social gathering. What's your name again?
I do that a lot, by the way.
Donald Trump. Okay, so we've talked about the junk of Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
We've talked about baseball with Bill Burt.
Yep.
We've talked a little bit about football, Patriots. Yeah, we've done all that stuff. We've talked about chest pounding in sports and how we can't stand it.
Well, you can't. You don't like a lot about what's going on in sports,
Well,
especially
no.
the money and the little.
I
the
think
bragging.
betting has been bad for sports too. Betting.
Why?
It's like,
And you're a gambler.
Well, it changes your whole the only reason I'm
Right.
watching this game is because I have $10 on it.
Right.
It's so stupid.
I was going to ask you that last week. How the game for you has changed as a result of the
By the way, I had a huge week. I tripled my money
there it
on
is.
betting this weekend, and no one bothers to call me for my picks. I like to keep them
What are you
myself.
going to do with that $30?
$280 I made in 1 week.
Ooh.
That's more than I've made in a month on this podcast.
280 more.
And you all know that that's true, right?
In fact, you lost money. It's 300. It would have been better to make.
Well, you know what? And then I get angry when I'm watching these games. Like, look at this guy. He's making $36 million a year. He can't go to the sixth inning. Piece of shit. Anyway, and I don't like Garrett Cole since he shaved his beard either. He looks like a pussy.
Well, he had to do it. That's what we do in New York.
He looked more like a pussy when he had the beard. I'm sorry. Well, we thank you for coming all the way in here. And don't forget, my grandma's... What was that?
That was our friend Ben.
My grandma's coffee cake's going to be coming directly to your house. We ship it to your house.
Okay.
And they ship it right off the assembly line, so it's fresh, goes in the box. You get it within 1 or 2 days, and it stays fresh for like 10, 15 days.
I eat
it's
that
beautiful.
kind of stuff every morning. That's what I have, a little piece of some kind of
You've never had better coffee
blueberry
cake.
buckle or coffee cake or something.
This is going to be, you're going to say, Bill Burt's going to say, you know what?
Why did it wait so long?
I'm going to write a column about this.
I will.
This is the greatest coffee cake I've ever had. It's the coffee cake of the stars. They ship it to Hollywood all the time.
Where's it made?
It's made in Hyde Park. Really? They have a factory there, and it's the most awesome thing ever. And if I had, my way, I'd eat it every day, and I'd weigh 450 pounds.
You going to come up to Joe Fish sometime?
Yes.
Jimmy's still there?
Tell Jimmy to call me back. Last 2 times I called me and called me back. Was he busy?
No.
You tell him.
Maybe advertise on this, too.
He probably looks down at the phone and says, it's Mike.
Mike.
He wants another
Ask him who's Happy Hooten. Didn't he give up a very, very big home run?
I said Hooper, my bad.
Didn't he give up the home run to the third home run to Reggie Jackson?
Yes.
Happy Hooten. And he wasn't happy after that.
By the way, three pitches.
Or Hooten.
3 pitches, 3 home runs. That's and I hate Reggie Jackson, but that's an amazing feat that he did. We're going to do a song, as we always do, a tribute to Joe and Jerry, Joe Castiglione and Jerry Trupiano. We mimic them in the most kind way possible.
I forgot about Trupiano.
Trupiano? Pull up a couple chairs for me, Joe. I put on a few pounds. Here's our Castiglioke rendering.
Hold on. Is that coming out of one side?
Doesn't matter. It's already started. Ready?
Go ahead.
This is also a tribute to Lou Reed. It's just a little bit weird. A little bit queer. Holly came from Miami, FLA. Hitchhiked her way across the USA. Can you believe it? She plucked her eyebrows on the way, shaved her legs, and then he was a she. She said, "Hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side." She said, "Hey, honey, take a walk on the wild side." Here's that interlude. This is the musical interlude, Joe. Don't sing yet. Okay, ready, go. Candy came from out on the island. In the back room, she was everybody's darling. But she never lost her head. Even when she was given head, she said, "Hey, baby, take a walk on the wild side." She said, "Hey, baby, take a walk on the wild side." And the color girls go, do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do. Do 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 do. Sounds like doo doo to me. Do tell, Joe.
This is the interlude. Quiet.
Shh. Got a pinch of loaf. Getting urgent, Joe. Little Joe never once gave it away. Everybody had to pay and pay at Shaw's. A hustle here and a hustle there. New York City is the place where they said, "Hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side." I said, "Hey, Joe, take a walk on the wild side. Oh, yeah."
That's it?
You want more?
Of course.
Excuse me.
Go to 15.
Sugar Plum Fairy came and hit the streets. That bitch. Looking for soul food and a place to eat. I got a place for her to eat. Went to the Apollo. You should have seen them. Go, go, go. They said, "Hey, sugar, take a walk on the wild side." I said, "Hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side." All right.